Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Late Night Vision Show. This is episode 91, and this is going to be a SHOT Show 2020 recap. But before I go any further, let me bring in my co-host, Hans. I think I'm going to drag him out of bed in here, out of the sick bed, to see if he can do this show. What's going on tonight, buddy?
Yeah, we had to cancel it last night. We usually record on the night previous to this, and I called and I was like, there's no way I can do it. I sound terrible. A buddy of mine, when we got back from Vegas, he texted me and said, did you bring back anything cool from the SHOT Show? And I said, yeah, bronchitis. And so that was the only, that and less money. So I am sick. Jason might be on the verge of getting sick.
I'm a little better, but I haven't been well. How about that? My wife is sick. We brought it home to the kids. They're sick.
Yeah.
It's been bad. I heard that everybody comes home from Vegas with something, and I'm just glad that we've just got bronchitis and the cold and whatever. But yeah, I'm with you. If anybody's going to Vegas and y'all are out there and you see any money laying around, it's probably ours. Pick that up. I'll give you the address you can mail it to. We left all our money out there, but no,
we did.
It was a good show, and we had a great time. It was a lot of work.
It was, and the wives had a lot of people have asked about the wives and their spa day. We've been calling it SHOT Show 2020. They call it Spa Show 2020.
It is true.
And they got to do all of their fun stuffs, the massages, the blowouts. Y'all went very well. They were very happy with their blowouts. And my wife, she just was talking about how she didn't have to do her hair all week because of that little styling job that she got done.
And my wife said that somewhere, I didn't see it, somewhere in the comments, someone was concerned about this blowout because supposedly there's some type of treatment they can do that uses chemicals and it's dangerous. All they were doing was getting somebody to like blow dry their hair or something. This wasn't any kind of chemical treatment because somebody was very concerned about their health and safety. And my wife said, I'm a hairdresser, and FYI, tell them it's really just somebody, blowing our hair out and fixing it for us. So
this was the gluten-free version of a blowout. So no worries here.
I have no idea what that means, but I'm just going to go on with this. Hey, folks, speaking of the SHOT Show and all the work we did out there, if you're watching this on YouTube, you probably already know about the SHOT Show. What do we call that? It was like a bonus episode.
Yeah, it was just the title of it was live from SHOT Show 2020, so it wasn't on the podcast version. I'm taking over for
So if you listen to the audio only version on any of the podcast apps, you need to go to YouTube and you can watch that. We did short clips from all the booths that we visited, or not all the booths we visited, but the thermal and night vision optic booths that we felt like we should bring you something from. And so check that out. It's on YouTube only. It does not translate well just to audio because we're literally standing in booths and showing different stuff from different manufacturers. So check that out if you haven't. It's a great show. And we had a lot of fun doing it. And Hans busted his rear end in the hotel room, getting it all edited and uploaded the day that we were leaving Vegas. So he did a great job.
I thought you were going to tell them about me falling or something. I was like, did I fall and not know about it? Busted his butt?
No, I don't remember that. But
no, I don't remember it either. It may have happened, but I don't remember it. But I will say this, Jason, what a difference a year makes, because a year ago, SHOT Show, I guess it was 2019, man, he did not want to get in the booths and talk with the scopes, and he didn't want to do, he felt uncomfortable. This year, boy, he was pushing people out of the way. I mean, he was grabbing them scopes, pushing people out of the way. I mean, he was Mr. Man on the Street reporter.
Classic exaggeration. Let me tell y'all why.
Man on the street reporter in the booth. All he needed was that big, long microphone that you see on Channel 7 News. That's all he needed.
Let me tell y'all something. So, y'all know me. I ain't scared to talk, all right? I'll talk. I'm scared. Yeah. I'm not scared to talk in public in front of people. But what I don't like is I don't like being in this show with 60,000 people that are A lot of them are trying to do business. A lot of them are trying to looky-loo, and those people, you know, I'm not too concerned about. But you're trying to do business, and there's some guy over there with a camera and a microphone, and he's hogging the scopes that you want to look at, and he's trying to record video, and so that is to me a little bit embarrassing. It's like everybody's looking at you like, what are these goofballs doing? Trust me, we're not the only ones. There's thousands of other people recording from the booths, but Hans, you know, last year forced me, you got to do this. You got to get in here and do it. I was like, all right, this year, let's just rip the Band-Aid off, you know? And then we were watching the show back, and I was like, I'm the one that did most of the talking. I feel bad. You should have been in there more, but I was just trying to get it over. I guess
I'm the only one that can hold the camera still enough. But anyway, so we're going to do a SHOT Show 2020 recap for you. And really go back and watch the last show on YouTube, live from SHOT Show 2020. Again, it's a lot of the man in the street reporter live from the booths and stuff like that. But in this show, we want to kind of expand on a lot of the things that we saw, talk a little bit more in detail about some of the new stuff coming out. We're just going to go and really hit on the same manufacturers that we talked about previously, but kind of give our thoughts on them and what we hope to expect and what might be a pipe dream. But we're going to start first with Jason said we're going to do it in alphabetical order, but we kind of lose our train of thought on the end of this. But
I don't know that either one of us know the alphabet well
enough. This is the East Texas alphabetical order here, but
that's right.
We got the first one right. We're going to start with the AGM. So we went to the AGM booth, had a big, nice booth. I mean, you know, for their first year as having a booth and being able to present their stuff, I tell you, they had a nice display, and they had a lot of optics. Their catalog is about as long as the menu when you go to, I don't know, Chili's. It's long. I mean, it's got everything you could possibly want in there. You and I were focused on a few items, primarily.
Really just a few. I mean, really just kind of a handful. Yeah,
we heard some good things about the monoculars. We also wanted to take a look at some of their thermals and some strategic price points. So, you know, the first thing that we both looked at was a thermal scope called I'm going to screw this up.
I know. I can't wait. I know what it is.
Secutor? Is that Secutor?
Secutor, yeah. I think that's right. S-E-C-U-T. Okay. I don't know. There's a U in there and an E-R. Secutor.
I have no idea what it means, but it sounds pretty cool. Secutor.
It does. It does. I don't know what it is either.
So we got a chance to look through that, and I'm going to tell you, we were really impressed. I mean, the first time Jason and I looked through some of these optics, we kind of looked at each other and they talked about the price points, and we looked at each other and like, man, we were impressed, very much so.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, folks, there's been a lot of buzz about AGM, and we have not talked about them on the show. I mean, we've brought it up, the fact that we're aware that they're there, and this has been in past months. And without going down a whole big, long rabbit trail, I want to just briefly let the people know who may just be tuning in and go, who is AGM and where did they come from? So, and I know Hans is over here rolling his eyes right now, like this is not going to be quick, but I'm going to do it quick. So the Armasight was a very well-known company. You still see a lot of their scopes, the Armasight Predators and Zeus's around. They were bought out by Flir 3.5 years ago. 3.5 years ago, they were bought out. They were absorbed by Flir. They brought in the guys from Armasight. Those are the guys who built the Flir Thermosight Pros that everybody knows, the 233, 536, 736, the Breach. They built those scopes using Armasight technology. So those scopes were around. They got rid of the Armasight guys, and they ended up going and forming something with a pre-existing company called PRG. They started selling some thermal scopes they were bringing in. That deal kind of fell apart. I think there was a lot of different business reasons there. It's something I don't think Flir was happy about either at the time with these guys competing with them. Yep. Whatever happened, that fell apart. Didn't last long. Then they got everything worked out. They came back in to the market as a new company with the name AGM Global. And so that's where we're at today. As AGM's been around a few months, they are making these scopes, and for all practical purposes, this is really just the old Armasight guys who've come back. So If you've heard good things about Armasight, these are the same guys. If you've heard bad things about Armasight, these are the same guys. I mean, you can take that however you want.
Right.
They were known for making some good products. So we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, we think they're worthy of looking into and seeing. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this, and Hans and I did not discuss this before the show, exactly what we were going to say on all this. We're just kind of, you know, flying here. So if you want to jump in and agree or disagree, it's fine. But here's how I feel, and I think Hans is going to agree from our talks. We are going into this with AGM very, very slowly. And what I mean by that is they are a brand new company with brand new optics. And with brand new companies and brand new optics, there's going to be growing pains. And sometimes those growing pains are something that can be worked through. Sometimes those pains end up just being the way the company operates. I'm hoping for the best with AGM. I'm hoping that quality control, quality of the optics, price points, and then customer service, warranty, repair, what have you, are all things that are handled good. The guys at AGM, we know them. We have dealt with them, you know, like I said, all the way back to Armasight. They are saying all the right things. And I don't mean this to say like I don't trust them or what. I'm just saying we are tiptoeing into this relationship because we want to see how these products actually fare in the field. So if I said anything there that you disagree with, Hans?
No, I think you're 100% right. One of the reasons of this show was for us to be able to provide our best input and feedback on some of the scopes that we test. And I think there's a lot of people out there that'll, you know, endorse something, and I don't know anybody specifically, but I'm sure there is, that'll endorse something without actually using it. You and I don't feel comfortable doing that. We have not had one AGM product in our hands to date.
Not until the SHOT Show. We had never touched one. We had never touched an AGM product.
Yeah. And we've not had it outside of a convention hall. So before we're going to jump in with both feet into the deep end, we definitely want to get out there, hunt with them, use them in practical situations, make sure that if Outdoor Legacy is actually going to sell this and the Late Night Vision Show is going to take the time to review it and promote something, you know, like that. Trust me, Jason and I want the AGM thing to be a home run. We really do.
We do. We really do. We need it to sell.
Yeah,
we want the product. I mean, it fits a hole.
Yeah, with Flir no longer, you know, on the consumer side, we need AGM to come through and fill a void. And we're hoping, and Jason and I talked about it a bunch, we hope AGM and their product line can step up and do that. But before we endorse it or do anything, we're definitely going to review it. We're going to test them. We're going to go shoot hogs and coyotes with them. We're going to ride around on the mules with the monoculars. I mean, we're going to put it through the test, but we have not done that. So, you know, we're kind of limited on what we can say about them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things where if this was from a known company that, you know, if this was from Pulsar or Envision or Trijicon or even Flir that's now gone, somebody that we've known and trusted, we've seen them year after year put out quality products, we would say, hey, great, this is, you know, can't wait for it. You know, we have a lot of, it comes to that point of, you know, we have trust in you until you break it. You know, we have trust until there isn't. Right now, we don't, again, I hate to say trust, like we don't trust these guys. I don't mean that. I just mean, and I think Hans said it well. If we go out and put our name on something and if I say I'm going to sell it, and if we say on the Late Night Vision Show we think it's a good buy, then we want to think that it is. Now, we can be fooled. We can get demo scopes. We're paying for these, by the way. I'm buying them. All right,
Yeah,
nobody's sending them
not
to us.
giving them to you.
No, not giving them. But we could get scopes. We could go out, use them. They work great. We start selling them and they start falling apart. And we go, man, that isn't our luck. That isn't what we saw. But we are not going to just start selling them without having tried and used them and have some history with the company. So that's where we're at now. I'm really excited about it, but I have high hopes. And listen, this is, I know y'all don't care about this, but it's actually costing us money to do this because there's some SHOT Show specials for dealers. We could go in here and put in an order and buy stuff a lot cheaper than we're going to buy it through the rest of the year. It's very enticing, but we're going to go out and buy one of this, two of these, two of those, so we can go test them and see what happens. We just want to wade into the shallow end and be able to come back and tell y'all what we think. So I am very excited. The price points look good. The units look good that we saw. We just want to see what they do in the field under recoil, getting banged around, and, how they work.
Yeah, and I think it's a good rule of thumb. If you're buying thermal or night vision scopes and optics, and the people that you're talking to and that you're wanting to buy from, if they haven't used these out in the field and tested them, I would definitely call around and talk to some people that have. It's not saying don't buy from them, but just call and get some people with some firsthand experience on these optics. And when people call in to Outdoor Legacy, I know when Jason answers the phone and people have a question, he wants to make sure that he has experience with the optic, and he's going to be able to give you his honest opinion of it. And like I said, we want it to work out with them. They've got a sub $1,000 monocular that, could be something that could be pretty decent. They've got another monocular with it's a 384 resolution. Yeah,
about $1,500, isn't it?
Yeah, $1,500. It's onboard recording, 384 resolution. We're not. Do we know the magnifications? It wasn't made very clear.
There were some. We can't.
There's some questions about some.
There's
of the
questions
stuff.
about some of the specs. We couldn't find the magnifications, and then even on they've got a $2,600 scope that we showed there. They said it was around 2 power. Now looking at some specs, I don't know. I'm seeing 1.2 power, which is almost no magnification. I don't even know if that's correct. So we got to get these things in our hands and play with them and see. Again, in their defense, brand new company, they got a lot going on.
Yeah,
and so it's they're got a pretty big feat. So anyway, that's where we're at with AGM. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to bring something up that's definitely not on our script here, but I know we're going to do this quickly. But I've had a bunch of questions about bearing optics. And there's been a lot of people that have asked before the show, are we going to go see them? Are we going to? And I'll just say this quickly. We did. We went and looked at their stuff. I think they've got some nice looking stuff. They've got the little Hogster scope that was a nice looking scope. I'm just going to say this. It's probably a fine company. They're probably making a fine scope. We just did not feel at the time that we're ready to endorse the products and sell them right now. Could that change in 6 months, a year? Absolutely. I have nothing, mean to say about them, nothing like that. I just didn't feel at the time it was something that we were ready to get on board with after meeting with them. I think it was there seemed to be nice guys. The scopes look good, but I'm just not 100% on board there yet. So we're going to hold off on them right now. Again, we get later in the year, something may change. We may revisit it. We may re-talk to them, but that's where we're at. And so I did want to bring that up because there's been a lot of people kind of asking. They've had a little bit of buzz with the scope again because it's a price point. They've got some stuff below $3,000. So I wanted to mention that. And
that's what makes the AGM Secular such a good, attractive looking scope for that price point. Right. Was it $2,500 for the Secular?
$25, $26, yeah.
I mean, gosh, we really got to test. And I'm excited about testing it. I'm ready to get one in our hands to be able to do it.
I am too. And folks, I know we're walking on some eggshells here with some of these companies, and you can tell we're trying to be reserved. And the deal is we're not talking about selling pencil sharpeners here. We're talking about selling $500 to $10,000 optics. And these optics we're talking about right now are, $2,500, $3,000, whatever. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to anybody. I don't care who you are. $500 is a lot of money. And we just want to be sure that we've got the best information and that we feel like we're giving you the proper advice because we take this personally. We take it serious, and it would be very easy for us just to bring them in and start selling them because they will sell. There's not a question about that. But if you're wondering why we're doing this, it's because, this is a lot of money. And I think it's foolish of an end user to run out and buy a scope because it's in his price range it's $500 cheaper than it's where he's at budget wise, but he doesn't really know anything about it or the company. Yeah. That's playing with fire, and I would wait until the reviews are out there. So that's my 2 cents. So moving on.
Well, you went off the rails, but at least you did it in alphabetical orders.
I did.
It was first. Did you do
saw
that on purpose?
When you said. Yes, I did, because you said AGM and you started talking about the alphabet, and I thought about it. So
well, good job, all right, man. Good job. Impressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the next stop that we made, which was another awkward moment, was at the Flir, what was supposed to be the Flir Ots booth. And if you watched the video last week, at the end of last week, it was taken over by some acronym. What was the acronym?
The National Shooting Sports Foundation. That is the organization that puts on the SHOT Show. It's for manufacturers and dealers. We have to be members of it and to attend to the SHOT Show. And so that's
the NSSF. So
yes, National Shooting Sports Foundation.
So basically, it was just a generic booth. Jason made a nice presentation to an empty chair of the award that they won. And I'm going to tell you, it's kind of a little bit embarrassing, and we didn't talk about this before the show, but it's kind of a little bit embarrassing that we chose the PTS 233 as best entry-level scope, and then a few weeks later they stopped selling consumer scopes.
It's not just embarrassing. I paid $100 for a really nice crystal award. Those things, you can't tell it if you watch the video, but those things weigh about 5 or 6 pounds a piece. Those things are legit, and it's sitting in my office now. And by the way, that award, I thought we were going to Guantanamo Bay. So we're coming back from Vegas. We're at the airport, headed back to Texas, and my wife had it in her bag. We couldn't pack it in our suitcase because it was going to be too heavy. We'd go over the weight limit. So she had it in her carry-on backpack, and that backpack gets shoved over to the hand inspection. And we're like, what's going on? And the guy starts tearing it apart like there's a bomb in there, and he pulls out that blue box with that award, and he goes, "Did y'all win an award?"
Yeah, and then the TSA guy goes, "You gave Flir an award? Didn't you know they stopped selling scopes?" No, I'm joking about that.
He did not.
That was kind of a funny moment, but we stand by our pick. We still think the Flir scopes were good scopes. It just wasn't working out for them. Hey, they have bigger fish to fry on the military and government side. This was pennies for them, and it was a nickel holding up a dollar for them.
That's exactly right. And I tell you something, folks, we are going to get into this. I have had more comments on YouTube videos, more emails, more Facebook, more stuff about this Flir deal. And, we had our little breaking news on it a couple weeks ago, but we're going to dedicate, Hans is probably going, no, we're not. We're going to dedicate a show to this. I think it's, I'm
the executive producer. You got to clear this through me before you're talking about show topics.
I gave this guy a title, and he's taking it to his head. He's got a plaque on his desk now. We're going to have a show about this, and we can beat the dead horse one more time for 45 minutes and get it over with. And there's some things that I want to bring up that I think needs to be discussed. I mean, it's too big a news to just let it go. So I think we will talk about it.
That horse has already been beat and buried by now, but we'll talk about it one more time.
We're going to beat it one more time. It's too big a news. All right. Going on from there, what about Flir's gone? Who else is?
Yeah, so the next stop, man, I always like getting a chance to go to the people at Envision. I tell you what, they just, it always impresses me when you have a company, they just seem hungry. And what I mean by that is they know that they have a steep hill to climb. They work hard. They put out some great stuff, and man, they're just excited to see you. They they love the late night vision show. I know all of them. I don't know all of them, but a lot of them watch because they talk about the show. They're very active with us on social media. We got a chance to present the award to them for best high end thermal rifle scope. And they were very appreciative of it. But, man, tell you what, just a very impressive company and outstanding people. We got to talk to quite a few people in the booth for a long time. And it was
I agree. They're good folks. And what I appreciate is this is something that you're not going to get in most of the thermal manufacturers. And partially I think this is because they're a smaller company and they know how important it is. The owners sat us down over there at a table in their booth and there's a million people coming in and out. They're busy. They could be doing other things rather than talking to us. They've already got us. I mean, we're already buying from them, okay? But they come in, they sit down, and this is what I appreciate. The owner, he says, what do you want to see out of our scopes?
Yeah.
What do we need to change? What do you want us to do? He's not saying he's going to do it, but I mean, but he's giving us that input of here's what we want, and they're smart enough to know that we, not just Hans and I, but as dealers, as end users, we're boots in the field. We're out there using this stuff. We know what other people are asking for, wanting. I mean, Hans and I are talking to hundreds of people, customers. So we get to hear what people are asking for. And so to me, it's always, and I know some people are just going, well, that's what they should be doing. That's true. But if you look at some of the goofy things that some of these companies come out with, that's because they're not doing that. Yeah. So it was a good meeting with them, and they're great folks over there.
Yep. So, keep an eye on them. We'll continue to obviously the Halo LR is very popular, and man, we've sold a bunch of them here lately, and it seems that the market for that just continues to grow. So keep an eye on them. Up next, is I keep thinking we didn't mention ATN, and that wasn't on the script either, and we're way out of alphabet.
We're out. Well, sorry folks, can't mention them because there's can't go backwards in the alpot.
We did walk by there. Yeah, we walked by there.
We walked by there.
That was the fastest I've ever seen Jason walk in his life, but no.
Nothing new to see there.
No.
Yeah. And for those that are going, what's this about? We just no longer sell ATN. Yeah. We used to sell them. We've been down the road with them. Customer service, quality control. We bailed out several years ago and just don't feel like the products are and the customer service are there to back it up, and so that's our feeling on that.
Yeah. We've talked about it a lot.
And yep, we have. Ask any other big dealer in Texas, and they'll tell you the same. So going on, let's get out of order here because we're talking about Envision, and that's the high end. Let's go to the big elephant in the room of high end. That's Trijicon.
Trijicon. So I know you got a chance to go by there the day before. I flew in a day later. You got to go by there the day before, and went by there afterwards and saw it. And
I didn't know that if I should tell them or not, but they had their prominent display of the Mark III 60 millimeter, which is a $9,000 scope, and their prominent display said that the MSRP price was $59.95. And I thought about asking them how many that they would sell me at that price. I'll just pay MSRP. I won't even ask for wholesale. But no, nothing new there. Other than doing the Reap 2s, which are, to be honest, unpopular because of the battery design and housing. They haven't done anything with, IR Defense since they bought it out several years ago. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, that's a discussion for another day. There's a lot of people that are much, they know more about the inner workings of what's going on there at Trijicon. But while they're a great company making great scopes, I feel about them like I do Flir a year ago, in the fact of they're not really invested in this thermal market. That's the scary
part of it. Yeah,
they're not invested in it. Yeah. And so I'm not making any wild predictions or anything like that. They may, come out in 6 months with the greatest things we've ever seen. And I hope that they do. I'm rooting for them. I mean, I love Trijicon optics. We just want something new. We want to see some innovation. We want to see some, and I guess they could say they did it with the Reap 2s, but I don't know.
Well,
so nothing new to see here.
They're leaving enough room for Envision, and
that's right.
Envision is taking full advantage of it. And they're pushing them a little bit. So we will our last stop is Pulsar. So we've got a lot to talk about there, and
we don't have that much time to be honest. Yeah, there's a lot to see.
There's a lot to talk about, and I'll say this, man. Say what you will. Pulsar right now is pushing this industry forward. I mean, they really are.
They are absolutely pushing the industry.
Yep. with the new things, the new sensors that they're adding, and we'll talk about a little bit the firmware updates that they're doing. I mean, the new models that they're continually coming out with, innovating. They're pushing the direction of everything that's being developed right now, and every year there's a buzz around the booth. You go in there and it's packed every time.
It's hopping.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. And folks, I know people think we sell out to them and all this stuff, and that's all bull. But here's the deal. We just went down the list of all the major players in this industry. Granted, we skipped over ATN, and that's, we've got our history there. The deal is that there's nobody here in this list that's making these great big changes, and it's, again, nothing against Envision, nothing against Trijicon. And the AGMs, I know they're just trying. They're trying to do this, but it's every year you go in there, and even when Pulsar has nothing new, they have something improved. And so this is the year. This is the second year of new products for them. So the Thermions came out last year, the Axions, all that stuff. So this is the time that a company should sit back and rest.
Right.
You should say, what are we going to do in 2021, 2022? We're not even looking at the scopes are made. They're selling faster than we can make them. Everything's good. But instead, they're tweaking. They've come in here, and we're going to talk about some of these changes that they've made, and they are trying to improve the current lineup of optics. Now, are everything they're doing exactly what I would do? No. But they are doing a lot of things that are really, really good, and they're trying. And you got to give somebody that. They're constantly trying to improve this stuff.
And I want to mention the new firmware update that came out for the Helions and the Thermion XP models.
Hang on. Helion, Thermion, and Trail.
Yeah.
Anything XP.
XP. So when I heard about it, I was in Vegas. I didn't get a chance to do the firmware update till I got home. And I shot a video of before the firmware update, and then I shot a video after. And if you want to see those before and after pictures, you can go over to my Instagram, HansETX. You can see the before and after. But my goodness, it's called a detail image boost firmware update.
Image boost, yeah.
I called Jason right away, and I was like, I did it on my Helion XP38 and my Thermion XP50. And I was like, this is amazing. I mean, the best firmware update that I've seen by Pulsar. And if you own one of those scopes right now, it doesn't cost you anything. You're getting an improved image. And
folks, this is legit.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, this is, and again, you got to have an XP, a 640 by 480 high resolution XP unit from Pulsar, including the handhelds. It is legit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it like this, and I'll leave it at this. No, it's not Trijicon, and no, it's not Envision. But those guys better be looking behind them, because when you get improvements like this and you're still at 17 microns, they are racing to the top. This image quality is, I'm telling you something, it's good. I got a buddy that he's a skeptic, and he owns a bunch of thermal, bunch of Pulsar XP stuff, and he's always just kind of the stick in the mud. And he texted me, and he was like, "Oh my goodness, have you done this update?" And I was like, "Not yet." And he was like, "You have to go do it. This is amazing." And I was like, "Okay," and it is. So go do that. That's and like I said, that's free. Anybody's got an XP model, you can go do it. But let's jump in, Hans. We are running out of time, so let's talk about some of this stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about one of the things I'm most excited about. I'm going to skip right to it. Is the new XQ models that are coming out on the Thermion line. So as you know, before we had the Thermion XM 38, and then we had the Thermion XM50. Y'all are going to get confused because I had to work this out 15 times in my head. Now they're going to be coming out with the Pulsar Thermion XQ38 and the Thermion XQ50. And the great thing is the XQ38 2.5 magnification, the XQ50 3.1. So all the people, when the new Thermions came out last year and it started at 4 power, they said, "Oh man, that's too high for me." Well, here you go. I mean, now you've got your scope in your magnification range that you want.
So let's talk about this real quick. I want to go over what Hans just said, and I'm going to try to break something down a little bit because it's going to be confusing. We'll be talking about it when we're doing the individual reviews of the scopes. But Hans was right. Last year, we had just XM and XP thermions. XM means the M indicated that it was a 320 by 240 12 micron thermal core. All right. The XP, as always, has indicated a 640 by 480 17 micron thermal core. The XQ in the past has always meant a 384 by 288 17 micron thermal core. So it means the same thing. Once you learn what those mean in the Pulsar line, you'll recognize what it is anywhere, whether it's a handheld, whether it's a scope, whether it's a trail, a thermion, an apex, it doesn't matter. So we're going from the XM320 12 micron to the 384 17 micron. And immediately people go, well, wait a minute. I thought 12 microns better than 17. True, if all things are equal. I've always said that. If all things are equal, 12 microns is better. But 12 microns isn't always better if you can do something to improve your 17 micron core. And that is what Pulsar has done with this new technology that they're calling, and it's not new to them, it's just a measurement. It's called NETD, or Noise Equivalent Temperature Difference. And it's not a technology, it's a measurement. And basically what it is, the lower this number is, this NETD number, the more image detail that you can see.
Right.
And so they have greatly lowered this NETD measurement in these new XQ sensors. So this is not the exact same thing that's in a trail XQ38 or XQ50. Okay, it's the same sensor, but they've improved it, and whatever they've done in this, it's in a ULIS sensor. It's just proprietary to Pulsar. They have made these changes working with the thermal core manufacturer. So again, we've seen demos of this. We've looked at them in a convention center. We looked at them when we were at Pulsar's headquarters in Texas. Let me see it in the field. Then I'll call you back and tell you about it. Okay.
Right.
So we're the same thing we would say at AGM and anywhere else. We got to see it in the field.
Yeah.
From what we can see, looks really good. The biggest thing, I don't care if it's no better than the trail. Just give me that 2.5 power or that 3 power.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about that.
That's the best thing. And that really, that's gotten a lot of excitement from people I've talked to. But also, let's talk about the changes. I guess it's kind of a slight change, but with the Axion line. So you've got the Key XM22 dropping in price. It's dropping down to basically $1,200.
Yeah, it's going from $16.99 to $11.99. That's a huge drop. I was blown away by that.
Yeah, and now you have the Pulsar Axion Key XM30 dropping down to around $1,500.
Yeah, $14.99, $1,500, and it was at $18.99. So right. $14.99 from $19.99. The units stay exactly the same. The price just falls out on them, and that's a huge shock to us. I had no clue that was coming.
Yep, and those are on the website right now, Outdoor Legacy Gear right now. If you want to check those out and snag up those good deals.
Yeah, those are good deals. And
I know so Jason just lowered the price on those today on the website. So
yes, just today, and also the XM38 regular Axion, which has stream vision, battery pack, video recording, all that. Those are the 5.5 power optics. They're normally $25.99. And we're doing a closeout on those for $21.99. So we've got those right now until they're gone. They're at $21.99, $400 off. There's also another model, the regular XM30 is going away, and it's being replaced by the XM30S. And this unit is basically going to be an XM30, okay, but it's going to have the better display screen in it. We don't know exactly what that means. We just know it's going to be a better display, and it's supposed to be a little better image quality. We're not sure. We saw one, again, got to see it in the field. But
Right.
those things are going to be here very soon, I believe, maybe in the next 45 days, give or take, if all goes well. So we plan on seeing those soon. So anyway, what it basically boils down to, and again, we'll be reviewing all these as they start coming in, but handheld monoculars in this Axion line, a little bit of a shake-up, some improvements, some changes, but basically the price is really dropping on them, which is something that Pulsar normally does not do. They hold pretty steady on their prices, but this is a permanent drop, and it's really good. Hey, one thing, I'm going to jump on this. We want to talk about it, but I also want to clear something up. I've got a lot of phone calls and emails, people saying, hey, the Trail 2s are coming out. I want to buy a new Trail. Folks, there's no such thing as a Trail 2. There is a Trail Laser Rangefinder 2. Right. And that's what we need to try to call them. We're trying to make a conscious effort of the Trail LRF 2. The regular Trails are done and gone. The LRF models are going to be, they're going to stay here, but there's going to be a new model of them coming out with the new image sensor, that same XQ sensor we were talking about, and that the XP may be getting a little different sensor as well. Mm-hmm. So in the LRF models, there will only be an XQ50 and an XP50 LRF2. That's
LRF2, yeah.
Yep.
So
and
it's only in the LRF models. It's not a regular Trail 2 or anything like that.
And I don't know how big those changes are going to be until we, again, get our hands on them. One thing I do want to mention, if you've seen pictures from SHOT Show, the LRF2s, they look like a regular Trail, but they have about a 3-inch long eyepiece on the back of it that looks really strange. It's something we're not used to. And that is up in the air whether that's actually going to be on the units when they ship to the U.S. or not. It's right now, it's there. There was some discussion of that being removed. And I've seen guys say that, oh, it's been removed for a fact. Maybe it is. But when we left there and we flew out of Vegas, it was maybe not. So that's how we're going to present it till we hear different. Do we leave anything else out?
Well,
I mean, I know we went over that real quick, but Thermion, Shake-Up, LRF.
Yeah, I think we hit all the high notes. I think the only thing left is the Sightmark Wraith 4K.
Yes.
The only thing left. So,
we'll hit that quick. I mean, it's going to be a great optic from everything I've seen. It looks like a good upgrade from the Wraith HD. It is going to be a 4K unit, 4,000 by 3,000 resolution. It's got an internal battery. Will run off of USB external power. It's got full color during the daylight, not full color, black and white at night. It's just
audio with the
audio and the video recording. It's just a higher resolution unit, a 4K resolution unit. It's going to be $799, and I've got guys saying, hey, is this something that I should, go sell off my HD and buy this? That's totally up to you. I mean, I don't have I think the HDs are great if you're happy with that. Yeah. I think that's fine. I think if you're looking for an upgrade, it's going to be a good upgrade. But again, we're looking forward to test them. Should be here this spring, and we'll be doing it. Hey, anything we mentioned here, any of the Thermions, Axions, LRFs, the race, we're starting pre-order list at Outdoor Legacy. And I would say, give us a call if you're interested in getting on any of those pre-order lists, because we are taking them, and we're just going to, put people in line by the date they call in and, get their deposit in. This is something that we handled very, very efficiently for the last several years. Last year, we really kind of redesigned the way we do things. And these pre-orders can get complicated because you get a lot of people calling and wanting stuff. But we've got a system that works well. So if you're interested in any of these and you want to know more info, call Hans or I at Outdoor Legacy. You can catch us at 877-350-1818. Talk to us about them. We'll answer any questions we can. If you say, man, I'm sold, I want to get one, we can get you on the pre-order. If you say, man, I want to wait and hear y'all review them, see how you like them, that's fine too. We'll be glad to do that, because as soon as we get them, we always say the very first two of anything we get, one is going to Hans and one is going to me. That's just the way it is. So we're going to be reviewing all this stuff on the show. So we've got a lot to do this spring and summer as these units from all the different manufacturers trickle in. And I'm really excited about it. This is really my favorite part of the show, is getting to test the new optics and review them and do side-by-side comparisons and a lot of different stuff. So I am excited about it. But again, if you're looking for anything night vision thermal related, check out OutdoorLegacyGear.com. We would love to have your business. You supporting Outdoor Legacy is the way that you can support the podcast, because that's where the funding comes from. So we're very glad to do this every week. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, all those things. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook, obviously YouTube and the other podcast apps. And we hope to see y'all back here every week. You can also go to theLateNightVisionShow.com and find all of our information there, as well as past episodes.
Yep. And you can find Outdoor Legacy Gear on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram. So on YouTube, it's Hans ETX. That's HANS ETX. A couple weeks ago, I released my 100 best hog drops of 2019. This week, I'll be releasing best coyote drops of 2019. So I've got a bunch to show there. But you can always check me out also on Instagram, Hans ETX. I get a lot of messages through there. A lot of people communicate with me through Instagram, so it's been a great thing. So we appreciate y'all, staying in touch and checking out episode 91, the SHOT Show 2020 recap. My bronchitis brain is starting to melt right now, so I better turn off this mic. But thank y'all for joining us this week. We'll see y'all next week. Stay safe in the fields. Keep making them bacon pancakes.